Hello, everyone. Look at the little bit special today. Look at this. We got Will and I on the same screen.
We do.
We're playing around here with the good old Zoom. Almost, we might be even tempted. I might even be tempted to pay for another year on it. Who knows?
I might see if I can change a little few things around, see what happens here.
Let me see what's going on. Oh yeah, we want the YouTubes. Oh, here we go. Taz says you like the music before the stream. Thanks, mate. We try and do our best. We try and do it. I did. Ooh, can't hear me.
Oh,
Ooh, hold on. Let me turn this up. How's that, Taz? Can you hear me a little bit better now?
can you hear me okay?
Hold on.
Mic off. Mic on.
Let us know how you go. How it goes. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Let me see. Let me see. Desktop sound is all right. Speak again, Iggy.
Hello? Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Okay. Can you hear me better, Taz? Because it should be a lot better than what it was, and you should certainly hear Iggy better.
Yep, I hope.
Okay, next time I'll turn the music down. You can hear me all right though, can't you, Iggy?
Yeah, I hear you fine, loud and clear.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I was trying to fix it, Taz, just for your tender ears, mate. But I'll have to maybe turn the music down. Okay, yeah, both better now. Okay, cool, awesome. That's all right. I cranked up some settings, so hopefully that's better. If not, I'll turn that mic off and I might I'll crank out the Blue Yeti. And what could go wrong with that in the middle of a stream trying to change mics? Because me and changing stuff in the middle of a stream always works out well.
Doesn't it?
First and foremost, welcome to anyone watching, and second of all, how the hell are you, brother?
I'm good, yourself?
Ah, mate, I'm good. Busy, but good. Can't complain, mate. Can't complain. Been up to much?
Uh, no, not really. Went to the caravan show on the Sunday and
Mm-hmm.
fell in love with the caravan. So me and the wife are thinking about it. So we're tempted over the next couple of weeks. We might go and hire one. There's one for hire out at Clyde, so we might go take it down to Phillip Island for a weekend and see if we like it, and then we'll
Oh,
go
okay.
from there. Yeah.
So you've bought a caravan or you're buying one?
No, we haven't yet. Like it's if we did go to buy one, it'll be a 9 week wait. So we're not
Right.
rushing. Yeah.
That's not that bad, mate. Because I remember like during the pandemic, like people were talking about like 18-month waits. But
Oh
I'm
wow.
pretty sure a lot of the caravan places um, massively increased the amount of people they hired,
Yep.
and pumped up their production. Taz saying house then caravan. Nah, man, caravan's a moving house.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
I live
Uh,
wherever I want to live.
yeah, you can't tell me what to do. Um,
Live on the
cool.
road.
Yeah, cool, man. But I was going to say, it's interesting you say that because that's you're actually also contemplating uh, maybe looking at property over at Montague, but we'll see. Wait and see.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just the wife's had a couple now more than enough instances where she's had to stay overnight. She's
Ah,
paying for a
okay.
hotel room, and we're like,
Yeah, yeah. And could you use it as an Airbnb like on the or would it
that's what
you
we.
need
That's what I was thinking. Because it's not
like
that
could
far.
you
Because Kilcunda's not far from there.
yeah, and it's
From
really
where
I
she,
really like Kilcunda. That's nice there.
yeah, and yeah, if you keep going, I think you can hit the ocean. But I don't know. Yeah, yeah. Taz, yeah. Ask my mum. Yes. Your mum likes her caravan, mate. Don't you mess with her caravan. She'll fucking go you. Don't you worry. She loves her caravan. Actually, I saw Taz's mum tonight. We had some dinner.
Oh, nice.
All of us together. So yeah.
For those that don't know, that Taz and Dean are related. He's not just going out with his mum for the shits and gigs.
No, I'm going out with her sister, who happens to be my wife. So yeah, so Taz is technically my nephew, but he's only a couple of years. I think he's only about 10 years different. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Taz's mum and my wife are sisters. So that's how I obviously know Taz, and then I got to know you through Taz, which is
Just
awesome.
correct.
Absolutely brilliant. If you're going to use an investment Airbnb, I highly recommend getting accountant suggested rental income to assist your property application. Ooh, I like it. Taz has suggested, yeah, like if you're going to do an investment Airbnb, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that might be the case. Look, if the accountant thinks that might work for us financially to actually offset some of our tax, that might be the way to go.
Yep.
Definitely. But we're not a finance show. Even though we're going to talk about some expensive stuff, which cost almost that of a decent used car.
Oh, it costs this, doesn't it? Oh, you can't even see my leg. It's disappeared.
Yeah.
I'll say an arm and a leg.
Mate, an arm, a leg, and maybe a kidney even.
Yep.
Yeah, mate. Thanks to Taz is saying I love linking people up. Yeah, mate. Absolutely appreciate it. I've actually, thanks to Taz, I've met quite a few people. Yourself, Benry, Roachy.
So who needs LinkedIn when you got Taz?
That's it. Tazed in. Doesn't sound quite as good, does it? Here we go. Taz is now wanting to know about the new Nvidia Diva Lackey. So let's start off. That's primarily what the show is going to be about tonight. Really, there's a lot to cover about the Nvidia 4090 for those who haven't lived under a rock. It's a new graphics card that Nvidia has brought out. It's come out on the 4 nanometer node.
Yep.
Bear with me. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to come up on the screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Check out your files.
Yeah, check out me files.
Did I see Pornhub there? Is that right?
No. Mate,
just trying to get you in trouble.
Mate, you are trying to get me in trouble. Bear with me for uno momento. 1 sec. Let me do this. Because I had show notes and now I cannot find them, can I? Because
Now, Taz, where are you watching us from? Because I've got the Twitch up, but I don't see your comments coming up.
Yeah, he's watching us on Taz did. He's watching us on the YouTubes.
The YouTubes. All right, I'll get over to the tubes you.
Yep, the tubes you. Yep. So basically, going back to the 4090. So what do we know about the 4090? It is very simply, won't get too technical, because let's be honest, that might be a bit hard for someone as simple as me. The first true 4K, basically it's the first true 4K high FPS graphics card. Yep. Effectively what that means is it will run like Fortnite at 144 frames per second, probably a ton more on a 4K monitor. So it's pretty impressive. It's by far the most powerful card out there ever. And what is really crazy about this card is from the 3090 Ti to this card to 4090, on average you're looking at least 60 to 7% increase in gaming performance, which is one of the biggest generational jumps that we've seen in a very, very long time. So this is a serious card. Now, should people go out and buy this card?
Not at the price it is.
Well, the price isn't the problem with this card. The price of this card is not hugely off what 3090 Ti is launched at. during a crypto craze.
Yep.
Let's be honest. If oh, come on, view, and we'll go full screen. There we go. If Nvidia can't sell this card, they will simply drop the price on it. That's easy. Like it's they've got plenty of margin in, I think, at what it is right now. The bigger issue is, well, who's the card for? And the card is really aimed at professionals. So if, like for yourself, like you do some video rendering and stuff, someone who does that for a living makes money on it. Like, and the 3090 was no different. And the 3090 Ti was no different. If you make money for a living, making content, creating videos, editing, rendering, 3D stuff, go at it. If this card's going to make you money, absolutely go at it. But understand it's not a card you have to just buy. What a lot of people are going to need to understand is very clearly, you got a 1080p monitor. Forget it. Don't worry about it. It ain't going to do anything for you.
Yep.
Your CPU just does not have the grunt. So a lot of testing has been done, and everyone has said right now the bottleneck is CPU. So the CPU can't process fast enough to keep up with the graphics card. So what happens is you max out on frame rates. One of the most interesting things I saw, and usually Steve from Gamers Nexus is not easily, genuinely, I think, shocked. He was, I cannot for the life of me remember what game it was. They were playing an older game, and he goes, the game can't run faster. The card maxed the game's frame rate out. He said, we don't have a CPU bottleneck, and we definitely don't have a GPU bottleneck. The game just can't run faster, even at 4K. Like, it was exactly the same result, 1080p, 1440p, 4K, at the max frame rate, which was something ridiculous, like 180 frames per second. And the physical game engine in the background couldn't render any faster. It couldn't display the graphics any quicker or in any higher quality. And that's insane. I've never seen that before. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and I've read a lot of stuff about it, and I've never heard a graphics card do that.
Yep.
So this card is definitely not for someone who's, if you've got a 3070, a 3080, even a 3090, and unless you've got a 4K monitor that can run at over 144 hertz or over 144 frames per second, this is not the card for you. The card that's most likely going to be for those people is possibly going to be the 4080.
Yep.
So that hasn't launched yet. That's due to come out in, I think, November 12th, if I remember right. So that will be interesting. And Nvidia's done something different this time. Last time they launched the 3080 and then they launched the 3090. And they've done that. They did that. I think they did something similar with the 2080 and the 2070 2080. So with 3000 series, it was definitely the other way around. And when they did 3080 Ti, then they did the 3090 Ti as well. So this time that came out, and the feeling I have, or the view I have, along with many other people, is I think with that 4090, the difference in performance between that and the 4080 is not going to be that massive, but the price is going to be significantly lower.
Yeah.
And they don't want people to, and that's why I think Nvidia thought, you know what, we can probably capture most of the people who are going to buy 4090s on day one. Let's get them, and then the 4080s will probably follow after that, or people who will want to hold off will hold off. The biggest thing to keep in mind with this card is, I've mentioned monitor and CPU already. The monitor, you're talking, so I've got a 34-inch ultra wide. So
Yep.
for me, if I wanted to go, you know what, bugger it, I'm doing it. I'm going to go the 4090. So the average card, the cheapest you're going to get is about 2.7 for a Zotac, 2.728, and then they go up. The Gigabyte Master, the Asus ROG Strix, about 3.5 to 3.8.
Yeah.
Right now, very interestingly, all the testing that I'm seeing so far, and this might explain why EVGA's gone, peace out, bitches. Because for those people who don't know, there is no EVGA cards. EVGA walked away from Nvidia and said, no, we're done with that relationship. We're completely coming out of graphics cards. And the main reason for that is people are suspecting that Nvidia wants to go down that Apple route where they control the whole ecosystem. There's no AIB or third-party graphics cards. So you don't have your MSIs, your Asuses, your Gigabyte graphics cards. Nvidia makes all of them.
Yep.
There's some credence to it. There's definitely some evidence in front that's saying that could be the case, because the difference in temperatures between, performance-wise, the Founders Edition card, which is the one Nvidia makes, versus the ones that are made by the third parties, performance-wise, there is zero difference I've seen so far. Like literally no difference in performance from a gaming perspective. Like the only difference seems to be a little bit some minor temperature differences. You know,
Yeah.
I'm talking like under 10 degrees. So really nothing burgers. Which seems to suggest that Nvidia's card is competing directly with third parties. But guess what? They own the silicon. They own the PCB. Oh, what do you mean you guys can't sell it as cheap as us? Oh, what a shame. Oh, you want to follow EVGA? Oh, wish you all the best. Is I think what's coming. And that, I sincerely hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope that doesn't happen, because I think Nvidia grossly underestimates the challenge of designing, developing, manufacturing, and delivering on the scale it needs to any product. Apple is amazing at it.
Yeah.
Even during the whole pandemic and shortages on chips and all that, you could still buy an iPhone. You could still get yourself an iPad. They were a bit scarce, but I think that was partly to do with there was a big demand for this stuff because of the pandemic. But, you know, it eased off. But it wasn't like your GPUs and your CPUs, like computer parts, as you know, sometimes were really hard to get a hold of.
Yep.
So the next thing you know is, so for starters, so the one thing you've got is your so the monitor is 2K. So if you want to play, so if I want to get an equivalent monitor to be playing at the same frame rates as I am, same size, ultra wide, I'm looking at $2,000. I had a look today.
Yep.
That's 2K for the monitor. Rest of my system's pretty fine, except I'd be worried with the CPU. I would probably be looking at going, I need to maybe get the new AM5 CPU, or I would need to be looking at buying the new Intel CPU, which is just about to come out as well. So the Intel Raptor Lake. So that'll be an interesting CPU to see how it competes against the AMD stuff. But effectively, Even if I just did the monitor and the card, it's almost a $5,500 upgrade just for 2 parts.
And then you're still going to get the bottleneck at the CPU, is that right? Or
Good chance, yeah. If you're paying at 4K, you should be okay.
Yep.
But it'll depend on the game. Some games, yeah, will bottleneck at the CPU because it depends on the game in the sense of if the game's very CPU dependent, yeah, that's where your bottleneck will be because the card won't be the bottleneck anymore. But I mean, just, like Cyberpunk, just thinking, so they had Cyberpunk running with full ray tracing, DLS, everything switched on, ultra quality. The game was running at like 80, 90 FPS, man. It's like more than playable, and you're like, I've got all the eye candy while I'm at, and it's a single player game, so it's not like Warzone or something like that where you need all the frames.
yeah,
But in reality, this, if you were a programmer or whatever, this could be an opportunity to play in true 4K. Like play competitive 4K gaming. But and
that'd be pretty good for like a production size. Not production size, like a production level. It'd be like getting esports up to sports level.
yeah. So the other thing is as well, right? We spoke about previously, people were talking about, the new consoles are, they're almost up to a PC now, and how quickly that just turned on a dime, it just turned so quick, mate. It's just not even close. Like an Xbox and a PlayStation would not be even close. Now, keeping in mind, we're talking a significant difference in price, though. And for some people, they go, mate, it's gaming. I'm not. I'm happy to have an $800 console. I've got a guy at work, got himself a new PlayStation 5, loves it. Says, no, because I was almost at him, convinced to get a PC, and he just went, nah, just sold my Xbox, got my PlayStation, love it. Just don't need a PC because I love my console. And it's hard to argue, man. Like if that's all you use it for, it's great.
Yep. But then once you go to it, you don't turn back, sort of. I can't use the PS4 anymore. It's just.
You were saying the other night, we were playing
it's too-
Fortnite, and you went,
Yeah.
nope. Nope.
Stuttering and glitching out, and like it was lagging. Like I'm over here, I'm over there, and then it's like jumping the. Oh, it's so much better.
And you jump on the PC, you're like, oh my god, I can shoot people. Yeah, that's what I noticed. I remember playing, what was the game? Oh, PUBG. And I was playing mobile PUBG on the on the iPad, and I'm like, oh, this is a good game. I like this. So I got it on Play. Oh, they finally because it had been on PC for ages. They finally released it on PlayStation 4. I think I played it a dozen times, and then I went, wow, this is a shitload harder than it is on the iPad. And then I played it on PC, and nah, no bueno. It played okay, but yeah. Tez saying
like PS5 for the win.
Yeah. Like I said, if you've got very limited gaming, but mate, trust me, come over to my place one day, Taz, and I'll chuck it on the ultra wide. Some Fortnite at the high settings, and when you go, oh, okay, that's how you see people that far away, is what you're gonna say, because
like,
I
could play so much better on this.
Yeah, it's like, and it's just so much smoother and quicker, and yeah, the reaction time is just, yeah, it's good. But that doesn't mean you're gonna not lose the sweats on the console, So. It's a great card. But the other card that probably people aren't talking about as much, well, had a little bit of little bit of coverage, not a lot, was the brand new Intel GPUs that have come out.
Yep.
For once, Intel hasn't been stupid and tried to sell, put lipstick on a pig and say, look, Cinderella, we're going to charge you for the privilege. the graphics cards are around that $500 to $600 mark.
Yep.
For the A770 and the A750, and they perform around the 3060.
Mm.
The big issue with those Intel cards is so far everyone who's reviewed them has said drivers are shit. They're just, yeah. And this is what happens. What's happened to AMD before, where everyone's like, great card, performs well, drivers are shit. Yeah, blank screens, things crash, games crash, they don't play well, they get choppy, they don't have smooth frame rates. So I know I've previously spoken about AMD, and everyone's gotten on this, oh, AMD's really good, their graphics cards are amazing, look at how much they're taking the fight up to Nvidia, oh, go AMD. And I remember saying, hold on, AMD had to use a 10 nanometer node from Samsung, which was nowhere near as good as the 4 nanometer node from TSMC that they're on now, which is the same one as AMD. And Nvidia almost kept up. In fact, with the 3090 Ti, they beat the 6900 XT, but it was so close it really didn't matter unless you were looking at ray tracing. In ray tracing, it smashed the AMD card. And now with this 4090, ray tracing has really become a part of the conversation. And unless AMD launch their new cards, which are due out in the next couple of weeks, and that's what I'm going to be really interested in seeing, unless those cards can compete with Nvidia on ray tracing, if I was at AMD and I saw that performance from third-party reviews from Nvidia, I would have shit a brick. If I was like Lisa Su, the CEO, I would have rang up my head of my graphics card division and gone, please tell me we're going to compete with this. Please tell me we're either going to beat it or we're going to go toe to toe. Because I reckon when you first see it, I reckon she would have gone, shit, hold on, I need to check.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have been like, whatever, we've got them covered. I reckon it would have been like a phone call to the graphics engineers going, fuck, hey boys and girls, are we good here or what? Because I don't know. I mean, AMD's doing this new dual chiplet setup. So look, there is absolutely potential that AMD could be as good or even better and cheaper than Nvidia. And if that happens, Nvidia's in trouble, in massive trouble. Then that's when if I was Nvidia, I'd be worried, because they'd be like, shit, they have caught up to us. But my gut tells me maybe not. My gut tells me AMD is gonna learn maybe they're not quite as good as they thought they were in graphics, and that Nvidia messed up going to Samsung, but now they're back, and now they're back in a big way. So watch this space. So couple of weeks, look, I think the next 3 months are an amazing time for PC building. Like, after a massive drought of really genuinely good new products as far as CPUs and all that, it is awesome. Now, did I speak last time about the launch of the new AMD CPUs at all?
I think you did touch on them quickly. I think, yeah.
So we now know pricing. We know pricing of the X670 boards. And we know pricing of the AMD chips. Now, 7600X seems to be, like, if you're going to just game, you're not going to stream, you're not going to do anything else. Seems to be fine. Like, the gaming performance is no different. But I'll be with like a, like if you've got a 3080 like me or a 6900 XT, zero difference. Like, it doesn't give you any more performance to go up the stack. It seemed to be 7700X if you were going to stream, do some video editing and game. That was the chip to go for.
Yep.
The biggest problem at the moment is the motherboards are mother pluckers. They are they're spicy. Look, I remember when X570 came out. I remember the boards then were like the really decent boards were like $600-700. I think if I remember right, for my X570 Master, when I bought that back in the day, brand new, I think I paid about $400.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, more. Sorry, about $550-600. Like, you're talking the same X670E boards now, like $889, and that's the cheaper one of the like higher end. Like, the cheapest boards are like only getting down to, what were they? They're really, really cheap. Let me go and have a
What
look.
are they up to, like the cheap ones like that? A620s or
No, those. So B650s.
Yep.
Just trying to remember what the B650s haven't launched yet. Let me go and have a look at my favorite computer store in the world. AMD. Here we go. All right. All right. Let's hold on. Let's get the socket right because it's got a whole new AM5 socket. Okay. So the cheapest. So there's two X670 boards, that's kind of annoyed me too. X670E and X670. So the X670E just gives you more PCI lanes, so you can have more NVMe drives on there to run on the computer, and it's got, you're not going to lose the graphics lanes and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
For 99% of the people, normal X670 board, boy, no, you're fine. You're not even. So the cheapest X670E board I can see, no, that's not right, is the MSI Carbon. That doesn't look right. It's at $859. That's at Centocom. Let me go and have a look at. Scorptech had a bit more range. And they had the pricing on the motherboards isn't massively different. Like, it'll be $10 or $20 difference.
Yeah.
If that. I think with most of them, it's not even that. AM5, thank you. Low high.
Life is a
highway. I want to ride it all night long. Gimme. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is interesting. I'll touch on, because they have got B650 boards up here as well.
Yep.
So here we go. So the cheapest X670 I can find is $554. Oop, no. $545, which is the Asus Prime X670P. Now, looking at that board, you know what? It hasn't got a fixed I/O shield on the back, so you have to clip that into your motherboard case. But it's actually not that bad. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 USB ports. It's got a 2.5 gig LAN. It's got 6 SATA. It's got 1 PCIe slot. For $545, it's actually not a bare bones type setup. It's actually quite a high spec board. Still, traditionally those boards would have been about $300. So they're about $245 more expensive. So then when I go back, now they have released B650 boards, which is what most people should be using for if you're doing a 5600X or even a 5700X. That's about where you need to be. Now, the cheapest one I can see is one you have to pre-order. I think the X650 boards aren't in the country yet. They're all on pre-order.
Yep.
But Sculptech has got them at a Gigabyte 650M DS3H for $305. And then you've got the next one is, to be honest, for $339, I'd go to the MSI Pro B560M, because it's got Wi-Fi on it already.
Yeah.
So, you end up, it's pretty good. Now, so you also have B650E boards. Again, with more PCIe lanes like the X570E boards. But they're not, yeah. Now, the massive disadvantage of AMD is you do have to buy the DDR5 RAM. In saying that, for about $300, you can get a nice... So, Gamers... Hardware Unboxed Steve did a really good video on testing the cheapest DDR5 memory he could find, and he found it was actually very little difference. Certainly not enough difference, because I think he paid like $84 for a 16 gig kit.
Yeah.
And then he went and did 5200, and then he did the 6000, which is the recommended Intel sweet spot. It was a handful of frames. It was all of it. 99% of it was like under 10 frames extra. Like, you would never notice it in game. You really wouldn't, especially if you're playing single player games. You would never notice it. So, and he said, look, unless you're doing competitive esports and like you're doing it for a living, like you can actually get away with 4800 memory. And I saw 5600 megahertz DDR5 memory for $300, and it was RGB G-Skill Trident memory. So it's not as cheap as DDR4. Like I've seen DDR4 memory for 32 gig as cheap as like $160. Like, it's ridiculously cheap now, but that'll come back up in price as it gets more and more harder to get a hold of. They're just obviously trying to get rid of it, and as DDR5 now becomes more mainstream, it'll become cheaper. But the DDR5 is now less of an issue. The advantage Intel has is the 13th gen is going to come out with the last lot of DDR4 boards. So I was talking to a guy today. He's got a 12th gen board.
Yeah.
So he's got an upgrade path of one more chip. You can just put it in that. The issue I've got with so yes, they're expensive, but X670 will come down in price like X570 did. Remember B450s and B550s?
Yes. I think I got a B450, don't I?
Yeah. Your mortars are B450.
Yep.
They're all really low in price. Like, I remember seeing B450 mortars at one stage for like under $100.
Yeah, I remember seeing them. Well, our mate Kewl that time was having them for $89. I think it was trying to get rid of some.
Yeah.
Someone was. Yeah.
Yeah. It was someone. Yeah, it was someone on Facebook Marketplace trying to move on some mortar boards. That's cheap, man. Like, they were cheap, and it'll get there with AM5. The good thing is, though, let's say, okay, so for me, right, say I would consider myself a premium buyer. I don't mind paying for a good quality board because I like having all the features. I could go and wait a couple of months and wait till they ease off a bit. So get an X670E. I think, what was it? It was not the Master. So the Master they had. Yep. So the Aorus Master, which the Master boards I really am a fan of, is $895, right? And if I went, no, I'm going to go all out, and I got the 8670E Aorus Extreme. Now that board at the moment is $1201. But let's say I waited a bit, come back down, and I paid just under $1,000, right?
Yep.
We'll say $1,000 for argument's sake. Now, some people might go, "Wow, that's a bucket load of money, Dean. $1,000 for a board is crazy amount of money." And yep, it is. There's a lot of money. There's no doubt about that. Thing is, I can keep upgrading on that board. AMD's already said you're at least going to see 3 more chips on that board.
Yep.
It's $166 a year if I kept that board for 6 years.
That's not bad. I mean, you could probably
Let's say
still
5 years. Let's say
Yep.
5 years. $200. Now, at the end of that 5 years, I'll probably get $200 for the board. So it'll probably cost me $200 over 4 years.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying people should go out and buy $1,000 boards if they can't afford to buy $1,000 boards. And with the current situation around the world, lots of stuff happening, I don't think it's a good time to be buying that sort of stuff. That's me. That's personally me. That's why the 4090 to me at one point might have been quite tempting, but not right now. Because the thing is, if the economy goes the way it does and suddenly people lose jobs and, you know, and I'll work in an industry, let's be honest, I'm in automotive, like it is, like if we have a recession, it does not end well. Because people just don't have disposable income. Like they're not going to spend. Like, you know, they're going to want to pay off their mortgage quicker because, you know, they want to put food on the table and want to keep a roof over their head, pay, you know, electricity costs. Everything's going up. Inflation has pushed everything up. So, you know, so I'm not saying everyone should buy, but I'm just saying when you work it out, if you work out the life of a system of 5 years, that's why I say to people, you work it out over 5 years. If you buy a $5,000 system, that system costs you $1,000 a year.
Yep.
Right? And if you divide that, 1,000, 1, 2, 3, divide it by 56 weeks, 17, it's under, it's, you know, $17.86 a week. Most people spend more on a coffee. $5 for a coffee, 5 days, it's $25. Spend more on coffee.
Yep.
Now, you might not want to cut your coffees out, but I'm sure you could cut out, oh yeah, I go out to the pub twice a week to have a meal. It's $100. You know what? I'll only have one.
Yep.
And I'll only spend $50. Well, I've got $50 in my pocket. Well, hold on, the PC's costing me $25. But the problem is you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined enough to go, I'm going to save that money and then I'm going to buy it. Because I think buying on credit, I think just, you can very easily justify yourself into unsurmountable debt. So I always say to people, look, everyone's different. Some people are quite good with using credit cards and paying them off every month. Like my wife and I are pretty good at doing that. Like at the end of each month, we make sure that whatever we spent, we try and pay off that credit card. Now, some months we don't, but it's a very small amount that's left over. But you get some people, mate, that like they've got a 10 grand limit and every month they've used 10 grand of it.
Yeah.
You know, like without fail. And I think that's with what's happening in the world right now. I think it's a pretty risky way to live.
Yeah. Me and my wife got rid of our credit cards probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and everything's like all our credit cards now debit credit cards. So if we don't have the money, we don't get it.
And that's the way it should be. That's great. Like, don't get me wrong, and I think that's the good thing, is because enough people cotton onto that, it forced banks, because people were like for example, I want to go to a hotel, I've got to have a card that's got like an amount of money, like a credit card type thing that I can give them to be able to book into the hotel. Otherwise, it's like ridiculous. You got to like hand over like $1,000 cash.
Yeah. But they can just put an imprint on it. Yeah.
Whereas they can do and go like, whereas now you can have $1,000 on that debit card and go, well, that debit card's only if we're going to go on a holiday and I have to put a deposit down for something.
Yeah, and then all they do is hold it, and then when you leave, you get it back again.
Exactly. And then you can go, right, now I can transfer that money back and pay off maybe, and then go, okay, well, I know that, that was part of the cost of the holiday.
Yeah.
And then you can put that back in your savings account and it starts your next holiday fund. Put you go, okay, well, now I've got $1,000 towards my next holiday, or $2,000 or whatever you put aside. It's just, yeah, for me, and it took me a long time to figure that out. And I'm not going to pretend I've got my shit sorted. Like, I get tempted, I buy stuff I shouldn't buy, but I also look at it. To me, I always looked at it from this way: have I got enough for fuel? Have I got enough for food? Have I got enough? By me buying this, does that mean I am under financial duress, as in I'm going to struggle to pay some vital bill like gas, water, electricity, my rates, whatever? And if the answer is yes to any of those, then what I want to buy is a no. So, and that's, my wife's like that, but my wife's extreme. Like, I could have $10 million in my bank account, mate. And I'd go, I'm going to go buy this. I don't care. I'm going to buy it on a whim. I'm going to buy a 4090, babe.
Yep.
How much is it? It's only $4,000. Don't worry about it. She would lose her shit. I could have $1 million. I'd be like, you realize there's $10 million in our bank account. I could win the $50 million lotto, and my wife would still go, oh, you never know what might happen. I'm like, bitch, if fucking something like that happened, then you know what? We would be fucked if we didn't win the $50 million.
Yep.
You gotta live life. But my wife doesn't like to buy stuff. She likes to do experiences. And that's cool. Like, I get it. And I just like to do both. But but she's not as an impulsive buyer as I am. But she'll like, we're going, we're planning to go to Fiji, and like that for her, like there wasn't a debate about what hotel we're going to. It was like, oh, we're just going to find the nicest hotel we can find. She had to temper her expectations because there was one that was $13,000 a night, and I'm like, look, I like luxury, but even my asshole's doing this. No, we're not going to that. We are going to a nice hotel, but we're not celebrities. We're not the Kardashians here, sweetheart.
I didn't just work the last month just so we could stay in this hotel for one night.
Jeez, mate. I wish it was only 1 month, mate. I'd probably be several months of working and going, well, that was one night. We're like, fucking hell, 5 days. I'd be like, yeah, and I just worked a year to stay in a hotel in someone else's house, basically.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure it'd be an amazing experience, but maybe when I'm a bit older and closer to retirement and when I spend my kids, Gabe's inheritance, yeah, but not right now. Right now, I have to be a little bit more responsible. He's still got uni and high school and a few other bills, weddings and cars, and he's actually quite funny. My son, Gabe's hilarious. He'll go, Dad, I think I figured out what car I want. He's like 9. I'm like, oh, mate, you've got like 10 years to decide. Relax.
If my daughter's decided what car she wants and she's going to buy, she wants a Jeep or she wants to buy a van and have it fitted out so she can have a sleep in the back and drive around and travel Australia.
So your daughter wants to be a bum.
Yep.
Good on her, I say. That's a great goal in life. Be a bum. Go around. You know what, though? and this is where we get caught up in our lives and society and all that, right? When I say this, your daughter's probably not wrong. You know what? If she decided she finished high school, said, I'm going to spend the next 5 years just seeing the world.
Yep.
And we're, like I'm going to go around Australia and I'm going to, and plans it out and goes, right, okay, I want to see most of New South Wales. Okay, what are some good spots I can stay cheap in a camper van?
Yep.
Work at the local pub.
Yep.
Earn a quid. And, work our way around the country. Oh, that's 1 year gone. Oh, well, I'm going to go to Europe next. Go to Europe, do the same thing. Backpack around Europe. Buy, and you know what? When she's, I can guarantee you, when she's 80 or 90, mate, she ain't, when she's an old lady and got her own grandkids, mate,
She
she's
has
gonna
a
have
lot of stories to tell them.
much more wicked stories than I would have my grandkids to tell.
Yep.
Oh, what did you do, Dad? Oh, I fucking drove around lots with girls that, that used me and abused me and, No, I say that jokingly, but, I didn't do anything exciting. I didn't do a lot of travelling until I met Amelia, so...
I was the same too. I didn't do a lot of traveling. Like my head was make money and spend on cars.
Yeah, I was the same. Make money and how do I get instant gratification? Instead of doing that, yeah. Still, you buy volume down because speaking with family. No worries.
Thanks
Taz.
for the lurk, Taz.
Yeah, thanks for lurking, brother. We really appreciate it. But yeah, but look, as far as the what's happening at the moment, I think if I was someone looking to build a PC, I would wait until. It'll be really interesting to see what the Black Friday sales come up with.
When are they? November?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Are they near the end of November or are they mid-November? I can't remember now. I think they're about mid. They're about six weeks before Christmas, aren't they?
Friday sales 20.
Can't believe how close it is to Christmas already.
Tell me about it. Here we go. Yep. Black Friday this year is on the 25th of November from midnight till midnight. Yep.
Exactly 1 month before Christmas.
Hey, what a thought.
Who did the marketing on that one?
The shitload of stuff we can't sell otherwise sale is
Yeah.
what I think is Black Friday. Look, the good thing is if Nvidia is overstocked as everyone's suggesting they are, that might be a good time to buy a really like a 3090.
So we got 6 weeks till then, or 5 weeks till then. I better start saving.
Start saving, brother.
Spring Carnival, I better start making some money.
That's not how you're going to make money. Just quietly, just putting it out there. But I'm chipping away. I think by then I'll have one more pay packet. So yeah, I'll chip away. I might have a little bit of sprinkling of cash so I can spend along and some approved wifey funds maybe mixed in with that, and never know, I might have some stuff up on Facebook Marketplace before Christmas so I can move it on.
Yep.
But yeah, look, it might be, I'd be waiting for those sales because I think this year that you could get probably a good deal on on an AM4 system like a 5800, like even for yourself, with your motherboard, your B450. You could stick like a 5700X in there.
Yeah, I was thinking that because I think I have to do a BIOS update. I can pull that out and I can pull that chip out and put it into Ava's computer because it'll run hers heats better because it's got a 3100 in it.
What's her board? A B450 as well?
Yep.
You're sweet, mate.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be massively overclocking the thing.
Nah.
Like I said,
50,
50, yeah. Because, well, actually, that's interesting. Let's just go to a quick squiz here. Oh, come on. Scroll up. Okay, here we go. CPU. Aim for. Yeah, let's do that. I still can't. Yeah, no one's buying a 1600 AF. Just quietly. Mind you, 5500 it's all right. 179. 6-core chip. Well, at the moment, mate, 5600G, $239.
Yep.
What else we got? I wouldn't even bother, mate. I'd go and pay you extra little bit of money and get yourself a 5700G, which is 239, but $130 more. 369.
Yep. Still, that's still pretty cheap.
That's what I'm saying. 5700D for 369, mate. You 8 core, 16 threads, integrated graphics. What else do you want? Like for you because of your streaming and stuff, and with the shows that you do, absolutely no reason. And because the thing is, yeah, like I mean, yeah. See, I don't get that. I would, yeah, definitely I would get a 5700G. I wouldn't get like a 5800X is like $449. For an extra $110, what do you get? No graphics, and I think, yeah, 100 megahertz more. Oh, you get a slight little bit less cache. Yeah. Mate, I all day, every day, I'd be going to 5700G.
Yep.
That's all you need to update your system. Oh, and then obviously, 1660 Super probably could go over.
Yeah. You can go over too. I'll be able to get a 3070 or 3080 for under $1,000, you reckon? 3080
3070, 100%. A 3070 Ti you can get for under
600.
Yeah. Where was it? Look, if you're willing to go used, I reckon you could get yourself. To be honest, I think at the moment, used and new, I'd just go the new.
That's the only thing. It's too stressful thinking about what's been happening to it and how long is it going to last, and does it come with a receipt? And
yep, exactly.
if you know it's new, as you know it's unused, and
that's interesting. No, let's go. No, we'll go over to our mates at BPC Technology because
whoop, whoop.
Because look, mate, I think they're very hard to beat on graphics card prices. To be honest, here we go, 3070 Ti. Let's see how we go. And we've got a price. Interesting. 3070 Ti's cheapest one they've got is $969 for 3070 Ti.
Yep.
But let's go and have a look at 3070 because I reckon you're not going to be, to be quite honest, you're not missing out on much.
Oh, what's all this?
Yeah, 769, 799. Yeah. What about yeah, you're starting to. You know what? I reckon if you could, if as I suspect what'll happen in the next couple of weeks, once the new 4080 launches,
Yep.
which will be before Christmas, I think you'd even go a 3080. If you were going to say nah, it has to be under $1,000, that's where you would end up. Because at the moment, the cheapest you can go is $11.99 for something in stock, which is the gaming OC card. But yeah, you'd probably be able to get away with cheaper. Or you could go, screw it, no Nvidia for me. Because unless you're into ray tracing, it doesn't matter. And these cards are not well renowned for ray tracing. So the really good value right now, like the really stunningly good value right now, is AMD. So no, you know what you do? You'd get it. You wouldn't go a 3080. You wouldn't go 3070 or 3070 Ti for $899, mate. You go 6800 XT.
Yep. Oh,
Mic
bless you.
off. Mic on.
Whew. Okay. Sorry about the mic on, everyone. I was a lot less louder than my sneezing, let me tell you. Yeah, but that's what you would go for. Is the it breaks my heart when I see this, Iggy. The card I bought, my AMD one, for $15.99. 1,114. Oh, but they've got no stock of it. Okay.
But when did you buy it? See, you've had.
No, it wasn't too long after that they dropped $200-300.
Right.
It was
And-
also a
and-
couple of weeks later, and I was like,
But
fuck.
then remember this you sell the 1660 Super to get it. So what would you get for the 1660
yeah,
Super now?
Oh,
$150, $200.
I don't think they're quite that.
No, I think they're around 250 to 300. I think.
Sorry, I'm seeing some of the messages from Benry in the Fortnite chat. He's like, you guys are really now starting to push my mud button. Anyway. What was it? Where was it? Hold on, let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look at Marketplace quickly, Iggy. 1660. You've got a 1660 Super, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not good. Jeez. Let me just see if I can find it. You've got... Yeah. I reckon this guy's dreaming. I mean, he's got a 3-fan card, but I think he's dreaming.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's another guy here. Oh, no. This guy's dreaming. A non-super he wants $250 for. And there's a whole bunch of them up here for $250, $265. Wow. 2060 super for $265.
Oh.
Hold on, Iggy. As ascending it with you. Coming at you,
Because I'm
brother.
on my way. Oh, there it is.
Oh, and it's June. Selling it too. So, you know, it's a decent...
Oh, June. Yep.
Yeah. So June's a decent seller. It's a pretty basic card, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's a guy here with a 1660 Ti. No. Nah, this has got to be a scam. Check this out.
It is an ex-mining card though. The one from June.
Is it?
It says for sale is some X Mining 2060 Super.
I think he's smart enough to make sure that it's not. I mean, you take a look at the photos, it looks in pretty good nick.
Yeah.
Like it's clean. There's no dust on it. Looks like
Chow.
it doesn't look like it's been overly. Yeah, like it's. Did I just?
That guy's got a few for sale too. Or he's got like iPhones and stuff, and
Oh, has he?
he's got a few. He's got like a 1660 for 220, a 3070 for 420. Probably all X Mining ones as well.
Okay, so what's a
So
2070 worth?
he's got all sort of spare parts and that.
Some nice 2070s for sale. And 2070 Supers.
Well, they'll be pretty equivalent to the 3060, wouldn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
No, actually, no, they're better.
Yep.
I remember looking at it for someone, and the 2070 Super definitely was. 2070 was still. Yeah. There's a guy here with a gigabyte one. Really nice looking gigabyte one too. And he wants what does he want? 400. I reckon you probably get away with 350 maybe. So yeah, I mean, there's graphics cards out there. So, you know, if people are interested, the used market is starting to show some good value. I mean, I can see here a 3070 for for 550.
Yep.
So there's plenty of good cards out there. Like people just, if they're comfortable buying used, well, there's zero reason not to. Just know what you're buying and how much you should be paying for it, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
So, brother, that is all I have to talk about today.
That's me too. I'm just having a quick look at crypto. Looks like it's all taken a bit of a dip over the last couple of hours. Has been still in a downward sort of trend since the start of the year. By the look of it, Ethereum's on its way down. So we're in our bear market.
Definitely a bear market at the moment.
Yep. I think till at least 2024. We'll see what happens when the Bitcoin halving again, and see how a few of all these games are going, running on the blockchain.
Yeah. Wow. Bitcoin has lost year to date 54% of its value.
It's all right.
If you bought in the high, man, that would have.
Yeah, well,
that would have definitely.
But you'll soon learn. You don't buy when it's the highest it's ever been.
No, you've missed the boat by then.
Yeah. So you wait for the dips, and then you start accumulating it over time.
Ethereum. Let's have a look. USD price.
Sitting at just over 2K on the AUD price.
Yeah, just under 2K I've got, 1970. I've got mine showing. Jeez, that's a bloodbath. Ethereum's even worse than Bitcoin. 61% of its value it's lost. Just shy of 62, 61.99.
Bless you. Again.
Sorry if I deafened anyone. I did try and stop that from happening. Yeah. So not crypto stonks, not so stonky at the moment. Very, very bad. But we will have to wait and see. They reckon that crypto, well, there's a predictor here. They reckon that crypto by 2027 will be worth double what it is now. Oh, yeah, almost double what it is now.
I'm calling 2025.
You reckon 2025 it'll double again?
Yeah, from where it is now.
Oh, okay. You reckon so it'll go from just under 2 to just under 4? Or on 4,000, you reckon?
Yeah, at least. Minimum.
You reckon, is it almost time to buy?
I don't know. Like instead of like it's down, it's probably like it might dip down to like 1,500 or something. That they're saying that around November it might take another dive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're planning on investing, I'd say just put a little into it each week, and just yeah, so you sort of average up your price out over the next 6 months. I don't reckon it's going to move much until the end of next year.
What makes you say that? Just economic conditions at the moment?
That too, and just because like from following from its last trends, like between the Bitcoin halving and that, every time it rises, like every 4 year cycle. I think it was 2020 the last time it did it, so I think it's due 2024 for the Bitcoin halving, and I think around 6 months beforehand, they sort of anticipate it to go up, so people start to come back in.
Well, I guess we will wait and see. Wow, people still trying to sell 1070 Ti's for like $275. And right next to it is a 2070 Super for 300. Like, not even a competition at that point. Like, anyway, I think people have forgotten that they've missed a. Look at this. Some bloke wants for an Asus Strix 580, 8 gig. I'll give you one guess. How much do you think this guy would want for this card?
What is it? 1080? Did you say 1080?
No, 580. An AMD
8 gig or 4 gig?
8 gig.
$450.
That would be crack money, but thankfully, no, he hasn't smoked that much crack. Lower than that.
So 300 then.
Spot on, $300.
Yeah.
A 580 8 gig certainly wouldn't. I don't think would be worth that much, would it?
I don't think so. But I suppose what can you look at the benchmark between that and the 1660 Super? Because the 1660 Super is only 6 gigs, so. But then Ethereum mining's.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these would be pretty. Whew. Oh, there we go. Who's this bloke? Do we know him? Who's selling it? Sam Owen. There we go. Some dude is actually in Frankston South.
To mine.
Ooh, that looks like it's got a bit of dust on it though. Alright, let me Google's. What have we got?
Yeah, see, everything on what to mine now is not making any money.
Versus. Yeah, why not? 2060 Super. No, 2070 Supers is what we're seeing. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep, benchmark. Let's kill the sound on that.
So many crypto casinos now too.
Really? But they're still illegal, aren't they?
In America, they're not. Like here, we're not allowed to access them. Like a lot of the sites and that, yeah.
So you in Australia, and you go, hello, my name is VPN, and my name is Carlo. I'm from Guatemala.
I'm just digging my tunnel through my VPN.
Yes, correct. That's interesting. Yeah, 5 RX 580 and 1660 Super are about the same.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
But let's go and have a... Oh, yeah, here we go. 1650, 6500X. No, oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. Let's see what this guy's got. All right, these are older games, but it's an older benchmark. Here we go. CSGO. Oh, wow. 1080p. Whew, 2070 touches it up. An absolute smashes it. Absolutely smashes it. So there's a guy here with a 2070 Super and a guy with a 580, and I think the guy with a 580 is smoking serious crack. Because there's no one, well, someone might buy it who doesn't know anything about PC. I mean, there's a guy here with a 1070 Ti, which I'm like, nah, mate, you just hate to tell ya, ain't gonna happen. Yeah, because people are still wanting $300 at 1070s, and it's like, sorry, dude, those are like at least minimum 5-year-old cards now. Anyway, brother, have you got anything else you want to add?
Nah, that's me.
For the day? That's you.
I'm done for the day. We got to jump off and then redo this editing from last night.
All right, mate. Well, you have a good one. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks everyone for stopping by.
Yep.
We'll see you all next week.
Yep.
Actually, we'll see you on Wednesday. We're gonna bring the horses back out and do some racing. Maybe race some chickens as well.
I'll be in that for sure. 100%. All right, brother. I will talk to you next week.
Talk to you then.
Okay. Peace out, everyone.